Hey, it's Robert Ferringo with Doc Sports here. Be sure to check me out at www.docsports.com and make sure to check my insiders page for more daily videos, including the Ferringo report, our 1-minute winner, and our Gambling 360, where we go around the full board in 360 seconds. So today we have a special Ferringo report, and I'm taking a look back at Sunday's Hall of Fame game between Miami and Dallas. I know I'm a couple days late with posting this, but it's a crazy time of the year, so I know you'll forgive me. I just wanted to give you a little bit of what I was looking at in the game and give you a little bit more of an idea of what I look for as a professional handicapper when I watch these preseason games. I know that a lot of people say, well, there's no point in betting on the preseason, you can't get anything out of the preseason, but I completely disagree, and in talking about this game, maybe you can see a little bit of why. I also wanted to mention that we have our first full cards of NFL preseason action on the site this weekend. For $49, you can get the full preseason selections of the handicapper for your choice. That's $49 for 3 weeks of preseason action. I also wanted to mention our big promotion right now is our 3-for-1 handicapper deal. Buy a full season's package of any one handicapper. You get to pick any 2 other handicappers and have access to their plays as well until September 24th. At the end of that time, you pick which guy best fits your own personal gambling style, and you get to ride it out with them for the rest of the year. So it's really a unique and interesting deal that we are offering our clients. As for the Hall of Fame game, we all know that Dallas won this game. I personally went 1-1 with my picks. Hit with the total, missed with the side. I'm still really angry at myself about it, even these few days later, because I went back and forth quite a bit in terms of which was going to be my 2 unit and which was going to be my 1 unit. At the last second, I went with Miami. That was obviously a mistake, but, that's the way it goes. Lots more games, so I'm not going to worry about that. But basically, there were 5 things I wanted to focus on that were kind of my takeaways from the game. The first is, like I mentioned, don't let people tell you that the preseason doesn't matter. It does. It matters. Now, I will admit that preseason success doesn't predicate success in the regular season. You just have to look at the Indianapolis Colts with Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning to prove that point. But there are different things that I look for that kind of show me if a team is ready for the regular season and show me if they're heading in the right direction. I'm kind of a macro handicapper when it comes to the preseason. Instead of looking at 1 or 2 matchups or 1 or 2 players, I like to look at this team just in general and take the broad view with them and see, how do they look? Are they hitting people? Are they flying around the field? Do they look excited to be playing? Are they executing? Are they turning the ball over? How are they getting in and out of the huddle and on and off the field? Little things like that add up, and they just give you a little bit of an insight into how ready these teams are, and it just kind of gives me a vibe for where they're at going into the season. That brings me to point number 2, which is that Miami did not look good at all. I know it's easy to jump on them because they lost, but that has nothing to do with it. I don't care that they lost. It's that they didn't look good. They were sloppy. They didn't execute. They didn't look aggressive, and that's one of the things that I'm looking for. They got pushed around in that game, and we're going to see this weekend if the coaches use that tape to motivate them and that they play a little bit more physical this week. Joe Philbin is a guy, he went 0-4 against the spread and straight up last year in the preseason. They lost and didn't cover, so now this year, so he's 0-5. Maybe he just doesn't care about the preseason. But I know that Miami is a team that a lot of people in the media are trying to sell as some sleeper team in the AFC. I'm not really buying it, and nothing that I saw on Sunday has really changed my mind about that. They have major issues in the running game. They fumbled their first running play from scrimmage. They have major issues at left tackle. I still can't believe that they let Jake Long go. That was a major mistake, and Jonathan Martin hasn't looked good all preseason. So definitely didn't like what I saw from Miami. Conversely, point number 3 is welcome back Rod Marinelli and Monte Kiffin. I liked what I saw from Dallas. That's kind of the big storyline for the Cowboys going into this season. How are they going to adjust, switching from the 3-4 base defense to a 4-3? And they looked great. I mean, Monte Kiffin is a savant. The guy is a master. He is the architect of some of the best defenses in NFL history, and I think he's going to work wonders with this Dallas group. And I know it's only 1 game, but they just looked really sharp, particularly the 2 times where Miami got inside the red zone and they held the first and second units of the Dolphins to just 3 points. They stopped them on 1st and goal when Matt Moore was in there, I believe it was. No, Tannehill was in there, so it was the first team. They stopped him in 1st and goal. And then the second time when Miami came up short on that 4th down. I liked the sets that the Cowboys were running. I liked how physical that they looked. I liked how aggressive that they looked. And, they get an A+ for their first effort in the new defense. We'll see where it goes. They're going to have bumps and bruises along the way, but they look good their first time through. The next point that I want to focus on, and this is something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on throughout the preseason, and that's the NFC against the AFC. The NFC is by far the best conference in the NFL. It's not even close right now. The AFC is kind of a joke. And just the way that Dallas pushed around Miami, I think that's kind of indicative of the differences between the two conferences right now. It's one game, so it's not a trend, but it's something that I'm going to look for. Last year, the NFC went 39-25 straight up against its sister conference in the regular season. That means that they won 39 of the 64 games that they played against the AFC last year. Is that trend going to continue through the preseason and into the regular season? In the short term, last year the NFC went 31-23 straight up against the AFC in the preseason. So, again, that's one of those things to look at. The team that wins in the preseason covers the spread the overwhelming majority of the time. So if the NFC is dominating the AFC in the preseason, that means that those teams are more likely to cover the spread, and we're going to look and see if that's something that carries into the preseason. So, like I said, it's one game. You can't blow it out. You can't make too big a deal from it. But there are things to be gleaned from that preseason game. And this is kind of the vantage point that I'm taking in all of the preseason games that I'm going to be breaking down this weekend. So that's my analysis. Be sure to check back on my page for more videos, including 1-minute winners and Gambling 360s and your daily Ferringo report. So that's it for today. Have a good weekend. Carpe diem and good luck.